Good morning, gang. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday and we're halfway through a week. God knows. Oh, trying to get stuff done and trying to beat the heat and doing stuff in the evenings or first thing in the morning here just because it's so freaking hot. And I'm not even facing what you guys are doing. I mean, it's only in the high 80s, 90 around here and, humidity, but I'm nothing like what you guys got out west or up north. I'm in the nice spot. But all right, so latest in a few things that are going on. Now, I'll give you this. We all know the rent moratorium, the mortgage moratorium is supposed to end, we think, the end of this month. Okay, though I'm hearing some places are saying the end of September. So, either way, but that's not kind of where I'm going with this. There's a couple of things that have come out that are worrisome, I guess, if you will. Well, one's worrisome and one kind of freaks me out. Now, we all know about this chemical plant fire up in Rockton, Illinois. Rockton is Rockford area, a little bit north of Rockford, which is far north suburbs, I guess, if you will, of Chicago. I mean, not really, but yeah, that part it's up near the Wisconsin border. Okay. Well, the interesting part to that is that now it's coming out that there's going to have to be about 8,000 people evacuated from the area. And I'm not getting the details as of yet as, whether or not we have air quality or, if it's water or whatever it would be. But, they're going to evacuate 8,000 people from the area. Don't know for how long or anything of the sort, but where are these people going to go? Now, some people are going to have family they can go stay with or whatever it would be. But, in other cases, what are you going to do? Take, family and, say, hey, you've got to go to a hotel. Now, understand where we're talking about here, too. This is, we're not talking a downtown area. You're talking about, somewhat of a rural area. So, people are going to have dogs, cats, chickens, pigs, cows, whatever it would be. You're not going to be able to evacuate livestock. So what's the cause? So that kind of comes into, like I said, a bit worrisome here as to where these people are going to go. Now, I know there's been all sorts of speculation on, everything that happens right now, there's all sorts of people saying, oh, it's a false flag event. Oh, it's, something, whatever. Anything and everything I can find is this was an accident, okay? Some guy was welding or whatever near some grease, and the grease caught fire, and that was it. And we all know how grease burns, okay? This is industrial grease. The stuff's highly flammable. So, not saying that there isn't a possibility, but all the evidence right now shows this is an accident because, just like heart attacks did happen and car accidents did happen during COVID, okay? Accidents still happen during the Biden administration. Not everything is nefarious. So don't jump to conclusions on all of this stuff. Take the conspiracy theory people and, kick them in the ass and say, get out of here. I prefer and deal with reality. All right. Now, if it comes out that somebody else, this was done on purpose or whatever, different story. But, anything and everything right now is showing this was an industrial accident, and those things do happen. So we get into another part here, and I'm going to kind of put two and two together, and it's a stretch, but we all know the joys of what's going on in San Francisco. No matter where you go, you've got to try to make sure you don't step in human feces, and there's tent cities all over the place, and you name it. Okay, and as I said at the top here, we know this moratorium is going to end. Well, the liberal shithole that Oregon is, and no offense to all you that live in Oregon, but you guys probably know what's going on. The cities in your state are completely do not go there unless you have a death wish. And, the majority of the western part of the state is absolute beautiful country, okay, and intelligent people. But Oregon decided to make themselves a retreat, if you will, for the homeless. The state's majority Democrat Congress, if you will, for lack of a better word, just passed legislation decriminalizing homelessness in most public spaces, okay? Meaning that people can now camp out anywhere they like. Public, tax-supported parks, city streets, sidewalks, in front of businesses, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, okay? This is House Bill 3115, okay? Passed this afternoon here, obviously Tuesday here, and it's going to Kate Brown's desk. Now, Kate Brown is a complete moron. You know, we all remember her and the all the riots and everything like that, what she was doing, okay? But literally now, Oregon wants to make the entire state the spitting image of San Francisco. So now, if you guys remember this, remember I talked about a while back, what are you going to do if you wake up in the morning and there's people sleeping in your barn and, you know, a bunch of carrot tops and chicken bones sitting next to them? Legally in Oregon now, you have no recourse because the state says it's legal for anybody to go anywhere. I mean, as the law says, and they can now camp out anywhere they choose, which, the way I read that, also means private property. Now, if it comes to a point where somebody's in my front yard and decides to pitch a tent, they better know how to dance real good, okay? And, you know, if you think about some old Western movies, you'll know what I mean by dance, okay? This passed overwhelmingly in Oregon, 28-10. Okay. Now, granted, Oregon has a predominantly leftist, Marxist government. Okay. There was actually one Democrat, Betsy Johnson of Scappoose, who said, you know, no, this wasn't going to work. But 28 people in the Oregon Senate said, yeah, we're going to welcome all the homeless and say, come to Oregon, it's beautiful here. Now, I'll tell you what, because I lived in Salt Lake City for a while, as you know, and Salt Lake was very open to homeless people. And what happened was California was busing the homeless into Salt Lake City so they could camp out in the streets in Salt Lake, and they were Utah's problem. Now, literally, the Oregon government has come up and said, send us your tired, send us your poor, send us your homeless, and they can stay here. What do you think is going to happen to your property values? Okay, especially if you're in the city. What do you think is going to happen to your businesses, especially if you're in the city? Personally, if there's a bunch, I mean, if y'all have ever walked through a homeless camp, it ain't exactly what you'd call neat and tidy. And I'll tell you this, if I have to go to a business and all I see is homeless tents and shanty towns and human feces on the sidewalk, I'm not coming into your business. I'm not putting my life or my health at risk walking through that filth. It's just not happening. So, and I'll give you this. Not everybody that's homeless is homeless by choice, okay? There are some people that have wound up down on their luck. Been there, okay? But I didn't pitch a tent in the middle of, the park, or, go sleep on a park bench, or, in a sleeping bag in front of a business somewhere, or whatever it was. Yeah, there were nights I slept in my truck, okay? That was fine. But, to open up, for 28 people to make the decision for the entire population of the state and say, we're now welcoming all the homeless people to come here, where do you think everybody's going to go? I mean, Idaho, Washington, Nevada, Northern Nevada. I mean, they got homeless people. Great. You know what? Let's put them on a bus and send them to Oregon. Now they're Oregon's problem. Because the homeless people don't have an address. They don't care. It's not like they have to go to the post office and fill out a change of address card. Okay. Not a big deal. So, all they're doing is taking on a problem, and you guys, all of those of you that live in Oregon, guess what? You get to pay for it, because even if they're not giving them hotel rooms or food or whatever it is, just like in San Francisco, well, now we've got to pay people more money to clean the streets. We need to hire more people. This is all government work. How does government work get paid for? By taxes. Guess who pays the Oregon state taxes? The people that live in Oregon. So, this is just another example of liberalism at work, okay? And, we've talked many times about, the Chinese invading, okay? And I mean, for all I care at this point, they can have Washington, Oregon, and California, because it's a cesspool over there. And I know there was one guy who I kicked off the channel here who was bitching in Constantine's video saying, I know nothing about California. To tell you, chump, I live there too. But, I'm sorry. You can't tell me that it's a great place to live. Granted, there's inevitably nice places to live, okay? But I'm picking San Francisco, or I'm picking Portland, or whatever. When you've got homeless around and, human filth all over the street, and this is acceptable. I'm betting right now that none of those 28 people, 28 congressmen, 28 senators that voted for this are putting a sign going, camp here, on their front yard. Kate Brown certainly isn't going, come on over to the governor's mansion and, camp out here. Let her start taking homeless people into the governor's mansion. Okay? You want to help them. I got no problem helping them. Okay? But don't give them carte blanche to go wherever the hell they want, because you know what? You also have citizens of your state that scrimped and saved and did whatever it took to avoid getting in that situation. Where's the representation for the people that actually sacrificed so they didn't wind up homeless? Okay, where's the sympathy? Where's the legislation for the family who maybe lost, both mom and pop lost their jobs, and so in order to keep the house and everything like that, they sold a car or did whatever, started mowing lawns or anything like that to keep the house. The people that actually worked to keep themselves out of the situation, those are the people that you actually should be representing, not the people that go, oh, you know what, the government will just take care of me. Okay. And again, like I'm saying, not everybody's in a homeless situation by choice. Most of them are. Okay. But this is what's going on. This is what liberalism creates, guys. And the more we let it creep into our lives, the more it is going to destroy our lives. If y'all are in Oregon, okay, y'all need to really start putting the pressure on your senators and your governor and say, ain't happening, guys. We don't want to be San Francisco. Okay. I mean, like I said, San Francisco's already a shithole. It used to be one of the most beautiful cities in the face of the earth. Now it's one of the most disgusting. But that's what you get when you have idiots in charge. And I mean, pick one. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi on federal level. I mean, Gavin Newsom on the state level. Pick one. So, we need to be vocal, guys. We need to stop this, because right now the left just thinks they can do whatever the hell they want. And I'm telling you why they do all this. This is all for votes. That's it. They just, hey, if we tell the homeless they can go anywhere and we give them a check for $600, they'll vote for us forever. I remind everybody about LBJ's comment. I'll have these, won't use the term, voting Democrat for 100 years, okay? Y'all know what the term is, okay? Same concept, hasn't changed. This is it. I mean, that's what the Democrats think they got going on. So, I know. Lovely topic for a Wednesday morning, huh? Have a good one, guys. We'll see y'all later. Pinball out.